Hey, shalom, shalom, shalom. I want to first start out by giving all praises to Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahweh Shah Ba'ashim Kakwadash, double honor to my apostles and notice a great millstone that rule well, and peace and citations to the elect men pushing out this word of truth and sincerity. This is Brother Yakinar from the DC Church, and the topic I wanted to touch on today, it's having to do what's going on right now, ever since Wednesday, with this whole, with this whole raging and rioting at the Capitol Hill, with Trump, with the Trump supporters, because they're not happy with the results of the election, and this really just speaks to, hopefully this video is entitled. This edition is a prologue to what's going to happen later, or something to that effect, because this right here was nothing but a taste tester, and what is leading up to, right? Because you got to understand all these things are leading up to one thing, and that's the race wars. These seditions, these raging and rioting of writings of the people. If you notice, both of them, especially the one that happened this summer, having to do with Black Lives Matter. All of them had racial tension or racial innuendos or racial motivations, and believe it or not, those so-called Trump supporters, they had racial motivations too, and we've been talking about what we've been talking about the race wars and how and they're going to happen soon, and how they're going to be happening soon for going on years now, and coming 2021, we might just see that. We might just see, nation rising against nation within America. Now I'm gonna start off by getting Matthew chapter 12 and verse 25. This is Matthew chapter 12, verse 25. It says, and Yahushua knew their thoughts and said to them, every kingdom divided against itself is brought to desolation, and every city or house divided against itself shall not stand. And if Satan cast out Satan, he is divided against himself. How shall he then? How then shall his kingdom stand? And that goes into what's happening to America right now. Every kingdom divided against itself is brought to desolation, and this kingdom has been divided against itself since the beginning. What do you have? You have the conservatives, the liberals. You have the Democrats, the Republicans. You have Edomites. You have Israelites. You have Moabites. You have Ishmaelites. We have different aspects of this kingdom, going from racial to moral to belief backgrounds that divide, that make divisions all around this place. This is the most divided country on the whole earth, But the only reason why it's being kept together is because the Lord is allowing it to be until it's time. But this place is eventually going to go down. It's made to crumble. This society was never made to succeed, And it says, let me call it again. It says, every kingdom divided against itself is brought to desolation. Every city or house divided against itself shall not stand, and it shall not stand. And the reason being is because, when you have these many divisions, there's ultimately going to be raging and rioting of the people. You're ultimately going to have, revolutionists, people that want to take control and take power because of what they believe is they think what they believe is right, And when you have divisions on a moral level, after a certain while, there's not going to be any talking, People are going to start taking action like they did during the summer and like they're doing right now, And it's all going to lead up into those race wars, because if you notice, all these raging and writings had a racial background, even though they're not going to try to play this Trump thing like it was any sort like it was anything racial. Believe me, if you asked any of those people that were raging and rioting about so-called black people, so-called Hispanic people, the Israelites in the Bible, they wouldn't have anything so good. They wouldn't have anything so good to say about them. Now, I'm gonna grab another scripture. This is Isaiah chapter 19, and I'm gonna start at 2. This is Isaiah chapter 19, verse 2. And I will set the Egyptians against the Egyptians, and they shall fight every one against his brother, and every one against his neighbor, city against city, and kingdom against kingdom. And this is the Egyptians being set against the Egyptians. This is modern day Sodom and Egypt. That's what we're living in right now. The house of homosexuality and bondage. And that's what America is. Now it says, I will set the Egyptians against the Egyptians, and they shall fight everyone his brother, and everyone against his neighbor. And that's what's happening right now. You have so-called white on white crime going on right now. You have the conservatives versus the liberals. You have the Republicans versus the Democrats. And they're and the house of Esau is divided against its own self. It'll be different. It would be different if Esau was actually united in putting all the other nations in subjection, and everyone else living in here was divided against themselves. But Esau is divided against his own house. And that's why they're ultimately going to crumble. And that's why I keep on saying, like, this kingdom was bound to come to an end anyway. This kingdom was bound to come to an end anyway. This place doesn't have to be physically destroyed for this place for the economy to collapse and everything to go to shit. Esau is divided against himself. He can't even decide what his next move is. And that's how that this place is coming to an end. Because the oppressors aren't even in unity in oppressing other nations. And what they think they want to do in the coming future. Now I'm gonna call it again. It says, and I will set the Egyptians against the Egyptians, and they shall fight everyone against his brother, and everyone against his neighbor, city against city, kingdom against kingdom. And they're all fighting for one thing, and they're fighting for power. And like I said, these divisions are not. These divisions are made on a moral basis. So after a while, there's not going to be any talking. People are going to take action. And they might take action so far to where you might even see another presidential assassination. That's been brought up a few times. That could very well happen. That could very, very well happen. Because these people aren't regarding their kings or princes. They don't care if they see a president. They don't care if they see a congressman or politician. Hey, if not a president, you might see a politician. A high-ranking politician or somebody to that extent getting assassinated because they do not fit the moral code or guideline of somebody living in America, whether that be Democrat, Republican, liberal, or conservative. Now, I'm going to grab another scripture. This is 2nd Ezra, chapter 15. And 16. This is 2nd Ezra, chapter 15, verse 16. And it says, for there shall be sedition among men and invading one another. They shall not regard their kings nor princes, and the course of their actions shall stand in their power. You know, and like I said, they will not regard their kings or their princes. Like I said, there could be another assassination of a high ranking politician. You know, because of all the tensions that are going on in America. You know, from what's it called, from a political standpoint and from a racial standpoint, there could be a lot of things that happen to these high ranking members in society because of what because of the divisions that are happening in America right now. You know, and like I said, these seditions are only going to get worse and worse. You know, and it's leading up into the all out race wars. Like I said, these divisions are not made on different standpoints. They all seem to have a racial background. You know, and when you have one side siding with another, you know, all on a racial basis, you know, then what do you think is going to happen pretty soon? These Edomites are going to start thinking, man, I don't care anymore. Call me a racist if you want, but I don't like you niggas. I'm gonna start shooting, you know. And Jake is going to get fed. Jake is eventually going to get fed up, you know. Well, what does the scripture say? What's it called? Judas as a crouched lion. Judas as a crouched lion. Who shall rouse him up? You know, there's ultimately going to be a catalyst to actually make Jake say, you know, enough of this, man. You know, we're tired of getting oppressed by you people. You know, and now we're gonna take a stand and we're gonna do what we got to do. You know, it's eventually gonna be that time. You know, now I'm gonna call this scripture again. It says, "For there shall be sedition among men, invading one another. They should not regard their kings nor princes, and the course of their actions shall stand in their power. A man shall decide to go to a city and not be able to." You know, hey, and just like and what happened in D.C. You know, after a certain while, they put a curfew in D.C. You couldn't be able to get in or out after a certain while without getting pulled over and questioned. You know, and that's going to be happening nationwide. You know, there's going to be nationwide curfews. You know, and not because of an imaginary virus. There's going to be curfews because there's going to be so much raging rioting and sedition, you know, in every city that they're gonna be forced to, you know. There's gonna be a time where people are so fed up that they're gonna actually start taking action, you know, in every single city. It's not gonna just be in one place, you know, isolated incidents. It's gonna be all throughout the country, you know. Now I'm gonna read down. It says, verse 18: For because of their pride, the cities shall be troubled, the houses shall be destroyed, and men shall be afraid. You know, it says, and men shall be afraid. You know, there's going to be a time to where you see the average man who thought he had everything figured out. That thought, you know, because he has a good job, you know, a nice family, he did everything by the book. That evil wasn't going to knock on his doorstep. You know, evil is going to knock on everybody's doorstep, you know, and men shall be afraid because they haven't dealt with something like this ever in America, you know, especially when you go around this go around in this generation, you know, a lot of the people in this generation never really had to go through hardship like that. So, you know, so you're going to have a lot of men that are going to be afraid. You know, they've never seen hardship like this, you know, and especially they didn't expect it to happen to America, or they might have fled their country, you know, from a country where stuff like this did happen, you know, to America for a so-called better life, you know, and now they're seeing it happen to their precious America, where they thought there was the land of opportunity, you know, and everything was going to be good and they were going to raise their kids here for generation and generation, you know. Now, for because of their pride, the city shall be troubled and the houses shall be destroyed. Like I said, this will be happening in every city. These aren't just going to be isolated incidents, you know, and men shall be afraid. A man shall have no pity upon his neighbor. You know, hey, the Egyptians are being set against the Egyptians, like we read back in Isaiah 19. You know, a man shall have no pity upon his neighbor. You know, these average citizens that act like they're humanitarians, that they care about each other so much, are going to be the same. Are going to be the same Americans, you know, during the time of Jacob's trouble, that are going to be eating their children. You know, that are going to be eating each other for lack of bread. You know, there's going to be famine in America. You know, and these are going to be the same people that don't care about each other. You know, it says a man shall have no pity upon his neighbor. These people will really see how people care, how much Americans care about each other. You know, during the time of tribulation and adversity. You know, because America is already an individualistic society. You know, most people don't even know their neighbors. You know, America's already individualistic. You know, people are already divided, even in personal ways, you know. So when there's going to be adversity, you know, and you see stuff like this happen, you know, don't be surprised if your neighbor is plotting up against you. You know, what does the scripture say? You know, you should know a friend in adversity. You know, these people aren't even your friend. These people don't even say that they're your friends to begin with. So how do you think they're going to treat you during the time of adversity? You know, they're going to take advantage of you. You know, it says, but shall destroy their houses with the sword, you know, and spoil their goods because of the lack of bread and for great tribulation. And that's what's going to happen. There's going to be a lack of bread and great tribulation coming to every city in America, you know, and the people that you thought you were safe living around these so-called safe neighborhoods, you know, these gated communities, they're going to become war zones, you know, because at the end of the day, you know, a lot of these safe neighborhoods, they feel so safe because they have, you know, arms of protection and also gated communities. So it's going to be straight up war zones up in there, you know. Now I'm gonna get another scripture. What's it called? Going into that. This is Matthew 24. Yeah, this is Matthew chapter 24, verse 12. It says, And because iniquity shall abound, the love of many shall wax cold. But he that shall endure to the end, unto the end, shall be shall be saved. Yeah, it says because iniquity shall abound, the love of many shall wax cold, and that's what's happening in America right now. Iniquity is abounding, so a lot of people are growing cold right now. You know, and like we read back in 2 Ezra, the 15th chapter, these people are going to be the same people that are going to be breaking into each other's houses, you know, and ravishing their goods, you know, and not have love for their own neighbor. You know, the love of many shall wax cold. You know, these people in America are very cold, and we're going to see that within the next coming months. You know, and this year 2021, nothing has changed. You know, these people had hope that their houses shall stand forever. You know, nothing has changed. This is just a continuation of all the bullshit that they had to go through in 2020. You know, this is a different age. You know, no matter what year you put on it, it's the same age, you know, and it's the age of the return of Yahweh Shai, you know, it's the age of the Lord, you know. Now, this is Matthew chapter 24, verse 7. It says, for nation shall rise against nation and kingdom against kingdom, and there shall be famines, pestilences, and earthquakes in diverse places. You know, and this is prophecy, what's happening right now. Nation rising against nation. You know, prophecy, you know, and that's what's going to happen during those race wars. Like I keep on going back to, these race wars are going to happen, and nation shall rise against nation, you know, not even just on a geographical level, because you have World War III that's brewing up. You know, you have China, you know, you have Russia, you know, you have all these different countries that are set up against America, you know. Iraq as well, You know, you have all these different countries that are set up against America, but you also have Americans set up against Americans on racial levels that are going to rise against each other, you know, and all the different things that are going to come after it: famines, pestilences, and earthquakes. You know, we already have the so-called COVID-19 pestilence. You know, there's going to be more pestilences that the Lord is going to bring to this place. You know, there's going to be famines, you know, and earthquakes in diverse places. You know, and that's what's gonna bring this place down. You know, that's gonna be a part of what brings this place down. You know, now grab something else. Yeah, this is Isaiah chapter 13, verse 14. And it shall be as a chaste roe and as a sheep that no man taketh up. They shall every man turn to his own people and flee into his own land. Everyone that is found with the sword shall be thrust through, and everyone that is joined unto them shall fall by the sword. You know. And this it says they shall flee every man into his own people and flee into his own land. You know, and during these times, everybody's going to turn to their own people. You know, it's only natural. You know, that's the natural order of things. You know, birds. If you ever heard the saying, "Birds of a feather flock together," every man is going to turn to his own people. You know. And every man flee into his own land. You know, right now you have people join together join together. You have these different nations join together, you know, for the sole purpose of of financial freedom. You know, because that's the reason why you have most of these people that have so-called white friends. You know, the white people that have so-called black friends. You know, and so on and so forth. It's all really done for financial reasons, you know, because somebody has something somebody has either some information or resources that you need, you know, so you do business with them, you know, and over the course of time, you come to think of them as your friend, you know, but you know, when these people don't have anything else to lose, you know, or anything else to gain, rather, you know, there won't be any more friendship. You know, everybody's going to turn to their own people because that's just the natural order of things, you know, and every man turn to his own land. You know, people don't even want to be in America no more. The whole purpose of America was so they could get money so they could send it back to their own land, you know. But if there's nothing to lose or gain in America, you know, there won't be any more. There won't be any more coming together as a people. You know, people are going to turn to their own people, you know. And I'm going to call one more scripture again. I'm going to close out. This is Isaiah chapter 11 and verse 12. And he shall set up an ensign for the nations. He shall set up an ensign for the nations and shall assemble the outcasts of Israel and gather together dispersed from Judah from the four corners of the earth, you know. And this, and that's talking about the Lord. Now, this Isaiah chapter 11, verse 12, it said, he shall set up an ensign for the nations and shall assemble the outcasts of Israel. You know, this is the outcasts of Israel, you know, the northern kingdom, you know, the outcasts, you know, and that's going into the, you know, the saints, you know, the ones that call upon Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai, you know, have gathered together to disperse from Judah, you know, and that's going into the southern kingdom, you know, the dispersed of those. The outcasts of Israel, the northern kingdom, and the dispersed from Judah, the southern kingdom, you know, from the four corners of the earth, from all corners of the earth, you know, because that's what they elected. That's what they elected. And the 1/3 are going to come from the four corners of the world, you know, whether they look like other nations or not, you know, it's going to be a beautiful thing coming together, you know, as the nation of Israel, as the kingdom of Israel, you know. The envy also of Ephraim shall depart. And the envy also from Ephraim shall depart, and the adversaries of Judah shall be cut off. Ephraim should not envy Judah, and Judah should not vex Ephraim. So with the dividing of America and the dividing of when you have the dividing of the so-called white race, the Esau Edom, you're gonna have the joining of, you know, Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai's people, which are the so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans living in America and throughout the four corners of the earth, coming together under the name Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai. And what are you going to have them coming up under? You're going to have them coming up under one name, one power, and in unity, not divided against itself, with the same doctrine and mindset, and that resembles the kingdom that shall not divide against itself and shall not be cut down, and that shall stand forever and forever, And that's what you're gonna have. We're gonna have the nation of Judah and Ephraim, the northern and southern kingdoms are gonna come together, under the name Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai, under the names Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai, and we're gonna be the next to set up to get power, to actually get power over the nations, and rule forever, So when you have the falling of Esau, you also have the rise of Jacob, And that's beautiful, because of all the wickedness that the so-called white man has done throughout the years, it's only right for us for us, the chosen people of Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai to come together and take power, With that, I want to say, call Lord Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai. Double honors to my apostles and elders at Great Millstone that rule well, and peace and citations to the elect men pushing out this word in truth and sincerity. Until next time, I want to say shalom.